Hello, my name is Anil Rajvanshi, and today I am going to talk about science behind pranayam. Pranayam means regulation and control of prana or breath. It is one of the major tenets of Indian yogic system. The first definition of pranayam was given by sage Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras. Sutras basically section 2, 49 to 53. He also identified pran as breath and nothing else. Nevertheless, lots of commentators and practitioners later on defined it unscientifically as a vital force, cosmic energy, and so on and so forth. I feel pran is the air we breathe, which consists of particles, molecules, microbes, viruses, or any other material in the air surrounding us. And its physiological interaction with our mind and body is the real meaning of pran. Pran in Sanskrit means life, and there is no life without oxygen, and hence the ancients considered air, which at that time was pristine, as pran. So there was a lot of unscientific things about pranayam, and hopefully in my talk I'll tell you about the basic science behind the whole pranayam practice. A minute portion of the air that we breathe goes to the brain directly via the olfactory bulb, a section above the nose, which gives us a sense of smell. This input to the brain tells us immediately about the nature of environment. Depending upon this input, brain then sends appropriate signals to the various parts of body to take the necessary action. If the brain senses danger, then autoimmune system is activated, and if not, then the system does not do anything and the body is relaxed and helps sometimes in producing serotonin, the happiness molecule, which gives us a sense of well-being. I have also put this article on the web, and all the URLs of different um, uh, researchers and the links have been put on that article. So please look at that after you hear this talk. Nanoparticles reaching brain directly from by breathing, and so in 1941 medical researchers discovered for the first time that small amounts of fine particles that were inhaled through the nose could be lodged in the brain by breaching the blood brain barrier, or BBB. This blood brain barrier isolates the brain and prevents it from getting infected from outside. However, this field of research remained dormant till 1990s, when scientists, alarmed by rising environmental pollution, visited the early research and started discovering the harmful effects of toxin invasion of brain through breathing. Recently, researchers have also shown that nanoparticles, or the particles which are size of 10 to 30 nanometers, or even could be more than around 50 nanometers, which are almost 10 to 20 times smaller than those emitted in cigarette smoke, can directly reach the brain, breaching the BBB. So the small particles which we inhale can go through the BBB very easily and reach the brain, affecting our quality of life and our health. However, the majority of air that we breathe goes to our lungs and helps in producing energy by interacting with the molecules of the food that we eat. The waste product of this interaction is the carbon dioxide, which has to be expelled. Both these functions, inhaling of oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide, is done by the lungs. This is similar to internal combustion engine, which takes in oxygen interacts with the fuel and throws out carbon dioxide. Through this process, IC engine produces power. Similarly, the gas exchange in our lungs also produces energy, which is a source of power for our muscles. Probably this could be the basis of pran as a life force because it provided the power and the force for us to act. When we inhale pure air, then the conversion efficiency in our lungs is very high. It reduces when we inhale polluted air. Thus, inhaling air from good and clean surroundings gives us a sense of well being. We get this feeling when the environment is pristine and without any pollutants, and also when we smell very pleasant and fresh air. Thus, the air we breathe changes our mood and subsequently our body, and this probably also gave rise to the meaning of pran or life source. All life forms have evolved so that the signals from the surroundings are first sensed by the brain either through olfactory lobe or by the specialized receptors like forked tongues in reptiles. As you must have seen, the reptiles are continuously flicking the tongue, that is to take the molecules from the surrounding, and it is like a gas chromatograph, and they sense the surrounding through that process. After the receipt, the brain then sends appropriate messages to different parts of the body. This is possibly the reason why nose and mouth are on the face and near the brain. Otherwise, a simple engineering design of the body, purely from the utility point of view, would have put the nose next to the lungs and mouth near the stomach. The superior natural design, which took millions of years to evolve, made all the external inputs from ears, nose, mouth, eyes, etc. first go to the brain, which assesses the situation so that the appropriate signals by it could be sent to the rest of the body for necessary action. So, what are the beneficial effects of pranayam? One of the pranayam's technique is breathing in from one nostril and breathing out from other. This is called Anulom Vilom. Scientists have found that breathing through one nostril affects the part of the brain on that side, and thus the practice of inhaling through one nostril during pranayam is to stimulate that side of the brain and not for cleaning the nostril as explained by experts in pranayam. Similarly, deep slow breathing allows enough time for the nanoparticles or other good things or pran to pass through the blood brain barrier and into the brain. Often the practitioners of pranayam have claimed that it helps them calm their nerves and gives them a sense of well-being. A possible reason is that the act of pranayam allows us to easily focus on breathing, and this focus on anything for a considerable amount of time is basically meditation. Patanjali also states that pranayam helps in concentration. Besides, different pranayam exercises also help the lungs, nasal activities, and general well being. Many studies done all over the world have shown the beneficial effects of pranayam and meditation. And even when it is done in a polluted environment, it helps through the benefits, though the benefits are reduced. Therefore, when it is practiced in a pristine environment, the feeling of well being increases manifold times. So, how does the breathing affect our mind and body? Since a minute quantity of what we breathe in goes directly to the brain via the olfactory lobe, these particles, microbes, viruses, etc., somehow change the communication among the neurons. And this allows the brain to send the appropriate signals via the vagus nerve, alerting the rest of the body. The exact mechanism of how this happens is still not known. What are the different holograms that are produced based upon this particles and the things that we breathe? These things are still unknown, though the science and the researchers are working on it. Such signals in the long run therefore condition the body. Thus, people who live in pristine environment and breathe fresh air have healthy mental and body makeup, and the people who live in polluted environments and breathe unhealthy air have more problems with their mind and body. This was probably the reason why yogis in ancient times preferred pristine atmosphere of Himalayan mountains. Nevertheless, if pranayam is practiced daily in clean and air environment, then it can negate the problems of modern life. A possible mechanism is explained in the following section. It has also been known for quite some time that antibiotics resistant bacteria can be neutralized with fresh air and plenty of sunlight. Researchers are finding that the enclosed environment of hospitals and offices with air conditioning and artificial air breeds bacteria which create disease in the people residing in these buildings. Exposing them to plenty of sunlight and fresh air has brought down the incidence of disease significantly. A possible mechanism for this is that the UV radiation of sunlight interacts with the nanoparticles in air and produces free radicals, and these reactive free radicals, when inhaled, have tremendous therapeutic value. In the mountains, the proportion of UV rays in sunlight is higher than in the plains, and with higher altitude and less pollution, the creation of free radicals also increases. Thus, the mountain sojourn has always been recommended for improving health. Probably that could also be the reason why rishis and yogis went to mountains for meditation and practicing yoga. Cleaning Indian indoor air by appropriate room air cleaners have also shown the positive effect on health. Therefore, there is a need to create and use indoor air cleaners which can duplicate or nearly duplicate the mountain air conditions inside the rooms in cities. In such environment, pranayam can be done easily. Recently, scientists have also found out that a good deep sleep helps in flushing out the toxins from the brain. Since deep sleep is like meditation, hence detoxification through pranayam, good sleep, and meditation can be a basis of a healthy brain. Pranayam is also helped by very nice smells or fragrant smells. And one of the most important parts of breathing is smell. It is perhaps our most memory evocating sense. The smell signals from the nose go directly to the limbic system or the seat of emotions. Thus, smells evoke deep emotional responses and memories. Studies have therefore shown that fragrance can change moods and influence the judgment. That could possibly be the reason why throughout the ages humans have always had a love affair with flowers and their fragrance. Beautiful flowers are not only balm to our eyes, but their fragrance is a food for our soul. No wonder fragrance and perfume is more than a $45 billion industry today. Use of mood enhancing incense has also been used in religious practices in almost all societies through immemorial times. Thus, the clean, crisp mountain air with a whiff of pleasant smell from the flowers literally evokes the abode of gods, since pranayam in such an environment provides a mechanism for detoxifying and cleaning the brain for better meditation and hence liberation. Even in our daily life, we can do pranayam in open and clean air. For a healthy planet, we need to therefore improve the air quality wherever we live. We can then inhale pristine air or pran and live an healthy, fulfilling life. I hope this shows some light behind on the science behind pranayam, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to it. And I'll be delighted to get a feedback on what you think about this talk and also what has been your experiences with pranayam. Thank you very much.